Yeah, that's right, Whitney and Colton. Sky Harbor is a major hub for American Airlines. So, what exactly would the impact be if United and American were to merge? What could we see here at Sky Harbor Airport? Well, we asked Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University professor Cary Grant, who actually worked as a pilot through a merger. He says a merger by the two companies could lead to gate consolidation at Sky Harbor. Grant believes United would have less of a presence over at Terminal 3 and more at Terminal 4, freeing up space for another airline to grab gates. Professor Grant says a major merger like this one could bring higher prices to travelers.
Well, when you control the market, you can set your prices. And these days where people have the ability to shop online and shop for the cheapest prices.
So Professor Grant there also saying that this is highly unlikely that this merger happens, but quote, stranger things have happened. This is after some people in the Trump administration has said that mergers could happen between airlines in 2026. American and United Airlines both have declined to comment on this story. Whitney, Colton, I'll send it back to you.